Hello my friends, this is Qinghong here. Welcome to my studio in the Blue Ridge Mountains. At this time of year, there is still so much beauty around us, from fruits to flowers. So today we are actually going to paint just that. And the main subject of our learning is how to paint these gorgeous roses. But before we start, I actually have another wonderful exercise for us, which will help us loosen up and to really be in the creative zone. So let's go there first. Okay, what we'll do first is a watercolor free wash or watercolor play. And that is my favorite way to start a painting session because it helps me to relax into the creative zone. So this is a picture I'm going to just play with, only with the colors. So in my exercise, I'm going to not to worry about what each little grape is going to look like, but just pay attention to the colors and put it on my paper, especially with the colors that I feel really drawn to. And that is simply what I'm going to do. So, and this will actually free us up from trying to be right, trying to be good, but more in the way of loving. In a way, it is, we love it, we just want to be with it, and don't have to judge if we're good to be in love or not. We are good enough, certainly, to be in love. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm seeing what colors, what I'm seeing, and I just simply put it on paper. I'm seeing some beautiful light yellow and then dropping some darker yellow. And certainly all that gorgeous blue. It's like blue and purple. It's truly incredible. So I'm just putting that down. And let the colors start to flow into each other. And different shade of blue here and there. And sometimes I don't have an exact match, and that's really okay. Rather than trying to be again so good with matching the colors, that's really not what we're doing. It's simply to be with this beautiful fluid fruits. And I see some of this gorgeous color that's peeking out. This bluish green color here and there. I'll just get it and maybe spatter some. Wow, look at that part. It's so beautiful. That's the joy of painting watercolor itself is a gorgeous thing already. And I want to maybe drop in some darker purple. I'm trying to spatter, because when I spatter, I got the most organic organic way of color dispersion or fusion. And that's really starting having fun. I'm looking at my play now, and instead of trying to match my photo, now this piece starts to have a life of its own. So I'm starting to respond to this piece rather than just focusing on matching the reference photo, and see what this one wants. Actually, I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't have the darkness of the reference photo, but that's really okay, because this is so personal. It is about a energetic resonance. If I don't resonate with all that darkness, I don't have to bring it into my world. I can just enjoy my light and airy color fusion right here. And what I do like is kind of like this vine, like going through, and let's see if I can capture some of that. And if I'm not sure that's what I like, I just use clear water and to erase it. Okay. And maybe a little bit of here. Okay, I'm really liking this. I think that will be my play. I feel I can breathe better. I really had many weeks of very busy life, but now I feel like there is more space to slow down and enjoy being alive. Okay. So this will be for now. This is complete for a play piece. And if I want to, I can come back and start to paint some grapes on it. But for right now, this is good enough. So my assignment for you is to find a picture that you feel inspired and you feel like the color you are drawn to. And you can use this reference photo or use something different. And the game is to not to worry about what it looks like particularly, specifically, but to just put down colors and let it mingle together and enjoy watercolor. And once you are enjoying it, then you are in a wonderful place to continue to create, because we create out of love, not out of fear. So this is a place that is just so enjoyable and full of joy. Okay. We can't go through summer without painting roses, so let's do this today. And these are such glorious golden orange flamey rose. It's really perfect for summer. So I start by picking up some orange color and also mix with a little bit of alizarin crimson, because I want to capture that center shape So I'll start with this flowering right in the middle, then move here and there. Okay, so we'll start by just getting the centers, light and shade, the shapes of that shadows. And I'm not being peculiar, and then you know I have this particular video that's devoted to how to paint roses, so you can go from there for the more detailed explanation on what I'm doing. Okay, softening the edges a little bit. Now let's move on to the next rose, and again starting from the center. It's kind of like this shape. Then use clear brush. I'm softening all the edges, then I'm creating this big shape of the rose this way. Now I'm getting the big shape. I can come in to define some of that spatial relationship between this one and the one we just got. And I'm noticing how soft and fills out this particular rose is, so I'm trying to keep that rather than making it into too defined. Now I'm coming to that rose right at the edge, and because that one is further away, so I'm actually going to not giving it much of a definition, but just very loosely define the shapes. And I'm intentionally leaving out some white spot here and there. And that helps to give some interesting like reflected light from the rose. And I'm darkening this a little bit more, so this bring out this rose further in. I mean further closer to the viewer. drop in some of that yellow, so there is a connection between all these roses. And there's a little one here, and again just really loosely, as if something is here picking out, and that's really good enough. Okay, now let's come in this way. So I'm going to move that rose a little bit further here, so there's more of the interesting in this composition. So there's a mixture of a little bit burnt sienna with a little bit of orange and a little bit raw sienna. So it'd be something like here. Okay. So actually I had some clear water before I painted there, so it has even a more diffused look, which I really like because this one is in the back. Now I'm just adding a little bit of darkness and give it a little bit of definition, and this is burnt sienna. Then darken this a little bit to bring out the flower in the front. And I feel like, again, dropping in some of that beautiful yellow to make them look more like the other ones. And then I start to feel like I can start to add foliage, especially here, to bring out this rose in the front. See, there's a little bit negative painting and getting that shape of the rose out. I feel this is pretty good. I'm softening this bit so it doesn't look so jumping out in my eye, I mean to the viewer's eye. And there's a little one here. I'm putting down a little bit of water and then start to drop in some of that yellow ochre and just really loosely get that one there. Okay, all right, I think that's all I want to do with the flowers. And now let's try to add some of that leaves, and I'm going to try to use this brush. I've never really used this to paint foliage, but let's see. So this is a cat tongue brush. Because I think this brush looks like really just the shape of that foliage. So I'm going to pull down some this green Apatite genuine. And then actually before I do that, I want to do this. I'm using another brush and I'm going to wet this here and there. So the game of the plan of the game is that I will have some variation of edges. So now let's go for it. I'm starting with the focal point and then try to carve out some of that petal color, I mean the shape of that rose. Okay, I think this is really interesting. And I'm going to now start to get another cold green, and that is Cascade green, and then start to create more of that variation in the foliage. So see, I'm even painting into the foliage I just created. So that there's more of the changing colors. And this brush is pretty interesting. I'm just, you know, the first time using it. And it does seem to be very good for the foliage. Okay. Now I'm going to spatter some of that color of the rose. So this way I'm creating the harmony between the foliage and the rose, and also I'm helping the foliage to come in more together. And next I'm going to put in some of that stem with my, just a mixture of all those dark greens. And I should add a little bit of that burnt umber so it looks more like the stem. I'm picking up, lifting out some of that color so that you can create more of that stem, that the highlight of the stem, that kind of feeling. Here and there. Okay. Soften some edges there. Alright, now I'm starting to feel if I should have a vase or not. And okay, we can have a vase. It seems to be calling for it. And what I'm doing now is to lift out this highlight of the vase. It feels like it wants to be here. It's the rim of the vase, so just a little bit of that. See, it's pretty effective. And then we'll do a negative painting. So I feel like I can do something like that. I don't feel like I want to paint on the whole vase, so let's try just a little bit of turquoise and a little bit of blue and see if we can get what we want. Yep, this is what I meant. Just a little bit of that, maybe a little darker here. So you kind of have a, oops, yeah, it's kind of have a feeling of there's a vase here without having to define everything. And I now feel like it wants a little bit of that purple, just because all the orange that's happening here. Yes. Oh, I really like this. Okay, I love it. Right. Maybe let's try to bring this down a little bit more even. Okay. I see just a little indication that there is something here. And I feel like I just want a little bit here. So we can add that, bring that flower better out, maybe something like that. And here the same, see if that works here as well. We can better bring out these flowers. Okay. Too strong, but that's okay, you know, we can just rinse it, lift with paper towel. So that's how we erase things. I don't really mind. And a little bit of just dropping here. I love this clear edge because we're painting all the loose, so it's actually helpful to have a clear edge somewhere to help the viewer land their eyes. And now I'm just going to, well, maybe I should continue to use this brush. This is a synthetic brush. It's really good for lifting. I don't really use it to paint, but I use it to lift. So I feel like I can do a little bit darkness right here. We'll see. Yeah, to better define all our lovely, to give it a little bit of that definition here and there. Okay. And I feel like the only thing I want to do now is to add a little bit of definition back to these flowers. This is how we're adjusting in and out. So this one, just something like this. Just a little bit of the edge will help bring out the subject. See, I think this is really helping. A bit of that. Also, on top of it, we can so now I'm using this pointed brush, and it helps to bring out more of that edges. Also here, I'm going to just put in a little bit more of that dark shadows, so there is a less of confusion which flower is in the front. And again, here with this flower, just a little bit of that edge work to bring out a little more definition, so there's more of that where the eyes can land. That's always the thing for loose watercolor. If it's loose everywhere, the eyes, the viewer's eyes can get confused. So right now I'm basically defining the spatial relationship. So for where I want things to recede, I'm just going to put some cold color. I think this is really starting to work. So it doesn't require a lot more. And and just a little bit for this flower, gently, because that one's really in the back. Just very gentle, and then a bit. Yep. Okay. Right. Maybe just the leaves. Let's see if we can define one or two leaf a little better. So I'm choosing to do this leaf. Give it a little bit of vein. And this is a good one to define. There's another one. Maybe we just okay. Right, I feel like it's come to an end. I just need to spatter a little bit of that leaf color to the atmosphere. I think we are really it. Okay, I think we got this a loose flower bouquet watercolor. So if you are a beginner, I would say just focus on 2 roses. You don't have to go around with all the other roses. 2 roses and some foliage, and that's good enough. You don't even have to worry about the vase. It'll be like something like this, and that's really is pretty nice enough. So give that a try, and definitely go check out that workshop on how to paint roses, and it will give you a much better idea. So for our more advanced, try it, give this a try for the whole thing and see how you like it. All right, thank you very much for watching this lesson, and I hope you still enjoy a little bit of flowers or a lot of flowers if you're in the south. And happy painting. See you next time.